And we are back.
Blame Facebook.
Yep. So we have to, because of stream lengths, we have to cut the broadcast down into sections. But we're right back at it, watching the 888 AXM racing on screen, and I'm also watching him in the 6 degrees of motion sim rig that he's using, along with virtual reality headset, and he's working extremely hard, let's say.
Yeah, very, very hard. Steve, that last time round was his outlap.
Yep, so we'll get a true feel for his time as the lap goes on.
Yeah, better indication of what sort of times he can do. We can compare it to the previous fast lap in the car, actually.
Yeah.
I believe once he comes around to the first sector split, which of course is just underneath the bridge at Arenberg. Bas Vartenbol is just making his way up to Vlugplaats. The long uphill slog. 4 tyres off the ground at Vlugplaats, like it should be.
The race seems to have settled down a little bit at the minute.
Don't say that.
Ah, that's why I said it. Oh!
Carl Sneak having a bit of a moment there, did we?
Yeah. Great correction. He's working extremely hard. He really is.
Stieg is just making his way up to the S's now. So he's done about a minute or so until we see what sort of sector times he can do. Just for comparison, the PTR number 78 car, which is about 4.5 minutes behind the next car in terms of position, did a 2-minute 53 of first sector.
Forget we have the draw coming up very soon. You have until 4 PM to enter the competition for the M8 751.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
All you have to do is like both the GTR24 page and the Cooler Monster page for a chance to win the MH 751 headset. Then get into the Twitch chat and write hashtag #CoolerMaster. Then the draw will be made and the winner announced.
And as Vartenbol makes his way through Kesselchen, Carl Stieg, where is he? That is the ad now. Sorry, that's Mittensfeld. Stieg's sector time was a 2-minute 58 for the first sector. So just have to wait for the end of this first flying lap to really see what sort of pace he has with the full motion rig. So we'll be back with you in a few minutes after these messages from our sponsors.
Communication. It started out as a conversation between two people, but as time went by and people's needs became greater, they developed more ways to communicate. Businesses today need to minimize incomplete connections. Therefore, it is critical that they provide optimal service. Xilinx desktop, mobile and web applications can process everything from normal calls and callbacks to chats, emails, and social media inquiries. Let Xilinx liberate your business.
Welcome back to the Nürburgring, and here we have still looking at Carl Stieg in that sim motion rig. Well, at least can't see him at the moment. You can see the car that he is driving. He's about to set his first flying lap time, so we get to see what sort of speed he really does set as he goes underneath the bridge. About 273 kilometers an hour, very good speed. The bottom of the compression, 279. That is fairly average for what we've seen throughout the entire field so far. The DSR Nightmare car is in the pits. There's been a driver change in the BDR number 79 actually. Alan Levy is in that car now. It's the first time that we've been able to see him and see what sort of action that he does. Carl Stieg comes across the start-finish line. That lap was 8 minutes 45.362. Gains 4 seconds. Yeah, that is 4.5 seconds actually on Levin, the car in front. That gap is now 6 minutes. But luckily for them, they've still got another 20 hours to try and make that happen. Viaducting and Scanview, that battle for the final podium position. That previous lap, yes, Rudy Coupen, 3 seconds faster than Nicholas Burke. So that gap continuing to extend. 14 seconds it is now. And you can see Arsonist DK is the winner of the headset. Yes, well done. And we'll...
Congratulations. Yep. Congratulations.
and setting it on fire as soon as he gets it. Lovely. And we'll be in touch with you soon to find an address to send that to.
Yep. The winner,
Well, there we go.
MH751. Very, very good.
He's got to come and join us. Well, not join us, even write an email to us with his address.
Yes. Congratulations. There's a mighty fine headset going to be winging its way to you very, very soon. Thank you to Cooler Master.
Spartanville and Stieg Van Spartanville, that gap is continuing to extend up to 1 minute and 45 seconds down the previous lap. It was 13 seconds down, 13 and a half seconds down. No one has the pace for Erisi at the moment. In fact, at 13 and a half seconds down, Spartanville was the next fastest car on track. There's absolutely nothing anyone else can do about that pace at the moment.
Sadly not. It looks like he suffered 15 seconds on that last lap. Erisi, I don't think he's done 25 since I can remember. I think he's been 24, 23, 22.
It has been fairly terrifying. B32 comes in, so Billy Anderson may well be handing that over to someone as we go through the next standings walkthrough. It's a 383 Drive Game C Racing, Lorenzo Risi in the lead. This is number 11, One Move Esports by Spartanville. The Scanview 55 Rudy Coupin is in third. 63 Viaductin of Nicholas Merck is in fourth. The DSR Nightmare treble 7, and that is now Stephen Salsgaard in that car. So that has been a driver swap at the last stop. This is the VDR number 79 of Alan Livin. Carl Stieg in the treble 8. VDR number 78 of Ian Anderson in 8th. The B32 Racing of Pelly Anderson is in 9th. And the treble 3 DMT Simsport Rasmus Blomhoft rounds out the field. As myself and Mr. Newcomb will be taking a short break for 10 or 15 minutes, but we'll keep the cameras rolling. And yes, enjoy the action, and we'll be back with you again soon.
in the lead. Time and screen. He's got a substantial gap, more than a pit stop now, full service pit stop gap on Bass's ball.
Yeah.
so they're exactly where they want to be, and this is what I thought they would be after, trying to break the back, so to speak, of one move, and then dictate the race after that with the pace and tactics. And they've done that to give themselves enough time from the pit stop to still have at least 30 plus seconds even after that. We'll have a change of driver as well to report. Eddie Gustina is now in the car. Took over from Rudy Couple, who drove around 4.5 hour stint there, I think.
Yep, just about 4 hours and 20 minutes roughly.
Yeah, it was a hell of a stint. He drove well. Obviously had a few incidents. Here we have Viaductin chasing down
Gustina, yeah.
Yeah, Gustina. These two car teams have been at it virtually throughout the race, and they're not letting up now.
Coming up towards Costa Tal, this is a difficult right-hander. We've seen a couple of cars go fairly wide at in the past, but neither of them do that this time round. Into Costa Tal. It's a good apex speed actually there for Viaductin, 110 kilometres an hour, which is about 5 higher than we've seen previously. We see roughly on average, and into the carousel. Viaductin fairly even on the throttle all the way around.
Yeah, it looked like it actually held a better and more even line through there. But Gustina obviously fresh in the car. His first taste of close quarter battle with Viaductin. He'll get used to it. They've been at it for quite a while. He's made a little bit of a run. He's cleared off a little bit, opened the gap up. Ooh, a little bit left hand down there.
Yep. Touch of oversteer.
Touch of oversteer. Slight. He's pushing hard, obviously.
Perhaps a little bit more oversteer than he would have liked at the beginning, but
yeah. That'll only get looser as the stint goes on,
and therefore more exciting for us.
More exciting for us, and squeaky bum time for himself in the car. Yeah, he's cleared off. He's made a real good fist of this. Viaductin unable to compromise Eddie's race at all there. Maybe there was a little incident that we didn't see. He's going a little bit wide on some of these medium speed corners, and maybe that's the difference in this section of track.
Yeah, he's just dropped the 63 completely. It's 10 seconds now.
Yeah, from being less than a second to 1.5 seconds. There was definitely, when I got in the car with Eddie, it just seemed to have bolted, basically. Yeah, it looks a handful, that car at the minute. And he has no answer to Eddie's raw pace at the minute. And indeed, the one move car is coming to actually put a lap on the P3.
Yeah, just
the
wait to
P4,
come.
sorry, yep.
As the treble 3's had an incident somewhere. Treble 3, yeah, but an incident somewhere on track, not exactly sure where. As we can now have a look at what the weather is doing. Now the weather station that we're using is almost directly in the centre of the circuit. You can just see in that final picture there's a little blob that's broken away from the main bit of rain to the west of the circuit, and that could pass right over the centre and provide us with a little bit of excitement.
As we have Viaductin struggling at the final turn. Gets himself back on circuit and pushes on to start another lap, but Eddie has broken clear. and consolidated third position so far.
Yep. That Tiergarten chicane can be so difficult because you are coming at 280 kilometers an hour, and then the braking zone is uphill, so you can brake a little bit later than you would
Yep.
normally. But it's also
Wow.
twisty. It's not a straight
Yep.
line at all.
Oh, so you've got to have your steering input as well as your braking input. You've got to have them even and correct, or you'll see what we did with the viaducting car. You go off to the right,
Yeah.
and then he found it difficult to get the car stable to drive back on the track, because obviously grass is far slippier than tarmac.
Really? That's something.
Yeah.
I never knew that grass is slippier than tarmac. That's not something I've learned in my many years of sim racing.
You often try and prove that wrong. That rain is getting a little closer.
And if we just have a look at the weather again, you can see there's this whole range of showers, so like moving in the northeasterly direction, and just behind the box in the bottom where our lovely faces are situated, there's a massive band of rain coming across the Ardennes,
Which is heavy.
which is heavy. You can see the colour-coded chart on the left-hand side, and even though you can't see it, I can tell you some parts of that rain band are pink. And you can see that is definitely at the very end of heavy rain, almost into storm territory. So, not exactly sure how long this will actually take to get here, maybe about half an hour or so.
We'll see how it pans out and shapes this race. But it's definitely on its way. It's just a matter of when it hits the track and at what kind of strength and for how long.
Those are all questions which have a lot of different answers to them, and
Yep.
most of them are quite complicated. As Carl Stieg comes into the pits in the treble 8 car, after taking after his first stint, actually, I think. And have a look at that gap between DSR Nightmare and Viaductin. It's now only 40 seconds. It's about 55 when we came back from the commercial break.
Yeah, so it's down to less than 40 seconds then. So this viaductum's having a little bit of a sticky patch, isn't it? It's lost touch with Eddie Gustina when it was nose to tail virtually, and we thought they were moving in for the overtake, and it's slowly and steadily fallen into the clutches of the DSR Nightmare crew.
As the BDR number 78 had an interesting excursion somewhere in the circuit. So the car flashed up in yellow, which means it was on track and less than 40 kilometers an hour or so. And generally when that happens, it means you've gone off.
Yep. I've got a little announcement. Yet
you've got
another
the
one.
announcement?
Yes, I have. Yes, we have the winner, Arsonist DK, for the Cooler Master M8751, and I think all the information has been had, so he can receive his new headset. So we now kick off a second competition. Yes, indeed, and this one's a great one. You have to wait until October to receive this. Same rules apply. Just like and go to the GTR24h Facebook page. And the second competition, the winners will receive 4 tickets to the show for the Endurance E-Racing World Championships in Viebold Arena in Denmark. share, get onto it, get your friends onto it if you're part of a team and you would like them to try and join, to try and get free tickets to the show. Endurance e-Racing World Championships in Vivold Arena in Denmark from the 24th to the 27th of October, where myself and Neil will be there, and the rest of the e-Racing World Championship team who put on this great event, where you'll see all the garage pit boxes, all the team's equipment in the main arena, in the hall, all varying different types of rigs, from the latest direct drives all the way down to 20 G27s to Thrustmaster variations. And it is a really great spectacle, especially through the night, where the lights get dimmed and all you can see is the shadows in the small lights from the screens.
That sounds fairly terrifying. It's not quite the romantic picture that you're trying to paint it out as.
No, but it's really you have to be there to understand and take it all in. It's a great sight. Total silence, apart from the movement from the drivers as they're making their way around the Le Mans track. And the most interesting part of it is all the teams bring race engineers who are in the paddock in the opposite hall, talking to the driver, giving them information that they obviously need, lap times, lap times from the cars in front, behind, pit stop strategy possibly from the cars in front, what the time gaps are, how your own stint is developing, if there's going to be a change of plan. So it's a full-on weekend, starting from free practice. I would highly recommend turning up to this event. It's all tickets have gone. All teams are on the website if you wish to see. It's definitely something I would recommend to do at least 3 times in your lifetime. Not just
At least 3 times.
Yeah, it's something that you need to be there to see. It's fantastic. I did every sim race I should do it, I think. I was there last year. I was lucky enough to be there as co-commentator, and it absolutely just blew my mind. And the opportunity to meet so many sim racers that I've raced against and with, obviously for a long time, especially the satellite crew and the Juices crew.
Bias.
I met everybody.
Bias.
Definitely, but also meeting up with the SimTech crew who were racing for charity as well and raised a lot of money. It was absolutely an amazing experience. Undercover guys, I met Jimmy who I raced against this year. It was a pleasure to meet them all and talk to them. Hyder guys had free gifts indeed from Dennis and the boys.
Ooh!
Yes, t-shirts.
The keys to Lamborghini?
Yeah, no.
Was it?
And I think the highlight for a lot of people was when Dennis strolled into the hall with his Lamborghini steering wheel.
Oh.
Yes.
Just showing off at that point.
But it didn't help him when he missed the pit stop. and ran out of fuel.
Oh no.
So that was disappointing. But yeah, some great rigs. I've got to go on a direct drive rig, and it was an experience. And some great rigs up there. VR all the way through the single screen, all the way through to 35-inch curves, triple screens. Got to go on the Pro Sim simulator. Yeah, with the degrees of motion involved as well, so that was an experience. So yeah, definitely get yourself on there.
I look forward to perhaps trying all of those sorts of things this year.
I had every intention because I took my racing shoes.
The racing shoes?
There was no option.
You have racing shoes?
Of course you do. Anybody worth their salt.
Along with your driving gloves, no, that is a thing. Someone I know races with leather gloves.
No, I don't.
Yeah, they drive with leather gloves on. It's
no, I don't do that. I've got feel, but I don't use them now. I've got Yeah, I haven't got the Lamborghini wheel. I personally use the TSXW Thrustmaster with the Sparko rim. That's what my weapon of choice is, and I've got Fanatec CSL pedals, obviously with the load cell, and that's what I use. But I highly recommend you having a go of a direct drive wheel. Different experience altogether, that's for sure.
I have a Logitech Driving Force GT plain. If any of you have a wheel that you don't want, you can donate it to me in October.
Yeah. I've got a spare T300, but I think the tax it on. Oh! Eddie
Gestina.
having trouble. Oh dear me.
And Eddie Gestina still backwards there. That's it on a forest.
He's gone through the sticky period now. He needs to just he's brought himself back into it, but I think he needs to just get himself back into the groove. Yeah, he's had a couple of issues the last couple of minutes. Luckily no one else was involved.
Yeah, Gestina in third place does have only 46 seconds now over Viaducten.
Yeah.
The Viaducten's only got 9 seconds over Nightmare.
So yeah, so everybody's closing in on everybody, isn't it? The fight between third, fourth and fifth is very, very tight indeed. Eddie with them problems has brought Viaducten back into it, who themselves are struggling to hold off Nightmare in fifth position. So it's all tight in the middle pack, which is really, really good for us.
And as it stands, Viaducten won't be able to get the, well, of course it is €51.20 for third place.
Yeah.
Which means, of course, which is the entry fee for the next race, the 24 hours of Spa on the 10th of August, 10th, 11th. Yeah.
Yep.
That weekend that's involving the 10th of August. You can check your calendars for what the exact date is, but it's the weekend involving 10th of August, and it's the 24 hours of Spa, and I am led to believe that we'll have all 4 classes there as a warm-up to the main event in October.
Yep, as the WEC do, of course. The WEC are doing exactly the same. P1, LMP2, GTE and GT3 cars involved, ready for the big one.
I'm right in saying that the GTE car is the slowest out of the 4, isn't it?
GT3.
Is the GT3 slower? Oh, excuse me.
That will indeed. But
Oh, thank
the
you.
lap times, yeah. A top GT3 driver will not be that far behind the GTE driver.
Oh.
Simply because of the brake prowess of the GT3 going in the drive out of the turns.
I think it's Sebring, if memory serves me correctly. I think the gap's only like about 4 or 5 seconds at Sebring.
Yep, exactly. Obviously you have the mixture you can adjust on the GTE where you haven't got that on the GT3. But the GT3 has the anti-lock brake system, so you could go deeper into the turns before you apply your brakes. Yeah, so it's always good to watch a good GT3 driver challenge a GTE driver, trying to use the advantages that it carries over, and also the disadvantages it has against the GTE car.
Yeah. With all the notes that I'm going to have to write down, I might need to buy a new notebook.
It's not a bad idea. Or put them all on your memory on the pad.
That might run out though.
Yeah, it probably does in endurance racing, doesn't it?
Paper never runs out of battery. You can take that as the words of wisdom from this race.
But if it rains...
Peter's roof here if it springs a leak. That's the only point that my paper notes will start to become obsolete.
Yeah. So we have the DSR Nightmare car and the Viaductum.
Oh, did you see that from the treble 7?
I did. Fantastic from the treble 7.
That was a big jump.
Yeah, but the main thing is they've closed the gap to Viaductum. They've come back into their own, haven't they?
They certainly have. As they're coming around the Golden Cough now, this is going to be very interesting to see what they do coming up the Dottingerhoe and towards Antoniabrücke. And here we come, DSR Nightmare.
Is he in the stream? Is he in the slipstream? Viaductum seems to be holding.
Seems to be pulling away.
Yeah.
Indeed. Oh, but look at that coming down the hill. Look how much more speed the treble 7 has. But Tiergarten is far too narrow to pass. Well, I say that, not with that attitude.
Corvette v Corvette. Over the start-finish line to start another lap.
They're going to be starting lap 33 of the race for them now. It sounds like 33 isn't that much, but you've got to remember it's 8.5-minute laps.
So it's down to 1/10 of a second, the gap.
Certainly when they get close. Certainly when they get close. Viaductum.
Yeah, this is
getting closer.
Oh, we're getting the lights flashed. That's a little bit cheeky, isn't it? Oh, he's gone
inside
for
the S's.
He's gone for it.
Indeed, up the inside at the first of the S. Well, the second of the first turn of the second set of S's coming back up the Nürburgring.
Yeah, he made the move and he's made it stick. Yeah, well done. Treble 7. Viaductum down to P5 now, the lowest they've been for quite some time. Having been up to P3 earlier on in the race. That position now held by Scanview, who are at least a minute up the road. So what answer do Viaductum have to this pace found by the treble 7?
And at the moment the answer appears to be no. They don't have an answer to it by the looks of it as they're coming up to the S's. And look at how far away the treble 7 has gone. Oh, it's Viaductum go very wide on the left-hander there, 2 wheels in the grass, and that obviously impacts their speed. And coming up the Quiddelbacher, not close enough to make it, well, not even to make a move, but I don't think they're even close enough to make a move in the slipstream. Over the Flugplatz, very nicely done there by Viaducton. And look at how far away he's gone already. On the onboard Viaducton, you can't see the 777. Well, you maybe can, but it's just a speck in the distance. But for all intents and purposes, you can't see him. Eddie Gastina there up in third place in the Scampi car. Big, big slide.
Yeah, we had this last lap, didn't we? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was this section of the track. It just doesn't seem to agree with the car. Or Eddie's.
Communication. It started out as a conversation between two people, but as time went by and people's needs became greater, they developed more ways to communicate. Businesses today need to minimize incomplete connections. Therefore, it is critical that they provide optimal service. Xilinx desktop, mobile and web applications can process everything from normal calls and callbacks to chats, emails and social media inquiries. Let Xilinx liberate your business.
And we are back live at the Nürburgring at 24, looking at BDR 79 sitting in 6th position, just in time to see the back end a little bit loose, but running nice and steady with no issues up to now. We've had a few teams with some problems. We've had a change of ownership of P3 with Scanview a little while ago, taking the position from Viaducted, who in turn
are now going to take P4 because Nightmare have just came into the pits.
Yep, retaking P4 after losing it a couple of laps ago on track to the Treble 7 Nightmare team, who've had some quite good air in the past couple of laps.
They have.
As the fuel came off, the air got higher and longer, which is always good. But it was in control as well, which we need to add as well. We've seen a few where, as we say that, Scanview.
Fantastic. That's Eddie Gustina, yep.
Eddie Gustina, yeah. Trust Eddie, that's a song, isn't it? Yep.
I'm not sure, I'm going to go and search on Spotify.
Till he's lost it a little bit. Remember these guys, Eddie Gustina and Rudy Cuppen, are driving this whole event by themselves. Only 2 drivers in that team, which is going to be a tough gig, as you would say.
It certainly is. 2 drivers. I mean, it can be done at other racetracks. I wouldn't suggest here, though.
I think the concentration level is far too high. I think the hands gripping the steering wheel is enough. I think you grip them a little bit tight. Obviously, there's no real straight on this track to settle yourself and sort of relax and stretch. Take one hand off the wheel and sort of like exercise, stretch your fingers and relax the fingers, shake them out a bit. Here, there's a turn, there's never a straight. So I think
it's the treble 3 just had some trouble somewhere.
Treble. Oh,
treble.
I see what you did there. Yeah.
As the rain is starting to get ever so slightly closer
to the circuit. Move in. Yeah, it's starting to move in.
The big band. We've now got the timings up on screen. It is look at D'Amelio now in the 383 Drive Games 8 racing car in the lead over the 11 One Move Esports and Bas Vartenval. The 55 Scanview of Eddie Gustina is in 3rd. The 63 Viaducten, that's the name of the team.
Yeah.
Frederick Anderson is in 4th, thank you. In 5th place is the 777 DSR Nightmare, Steven Salsgaard. 6th is the BDR number 79 of Dennis Hartman. 7th, and in the pits, is the 888 EXM Racing of Carl Steeg. 8th is the BDR 78 of Ian Anderson. In 9th is the B32 Racing number 32 of Rasmus Björnqvist. And in 10th place is the 333 DMD Simsport of Rasmus Bernhoft.
Oh, well done. Did well to get yourself around them, didn't you?
2 Rasmai. Rasmus.
That's what you call a flock of Rasmai, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes, indeed. Don't mind us, folks. Yeah. Yeah, Viaducten sitting in 4th at the minute. Obviously due a pit stop because they took over the 777 car while it was sitting in the pit, so out of sequence. Oh, we have...
As the 333 has gone into...
Oh, we have...
has gone into...
the barrier.
I'm not exactly sure where that is. Answers in a postcard, please. Oh, that was a car going fast at a high rate of knots.
I headed back to the pits.
As they are still stationary on track somewhere, and
Yeah.
they've now gone back to the pits.
Yeah, it looks like they've run into issues once again, unfortunately. Piloted by Rasmus Rundholt. Oh dear me.
That treble three is one of the better paint schemes. Well, say one of the better paint schemes. They're all really good paint schemes here. One that made me smile every time I saw it. But not exactly having the best of days in treble three.
As the leader enters the pits with the advantage of just on the 2-minute mark from the one move car.
And the 17.9 is in the pits at the same time. Then it's Hardman. In fact, it just came out of the pits. And by just came out of the pits. No, that is right. I was right the first time. Came out of the
You
pits.
were right the first time.
I was right the first time. Just came out of the pits.
As the
B32 racing.
B32 enters the pits as well. Make sure he gets down to the correct speed limit so as not to incur a penalty.
Or at least try not to.
It's not wise.
I think that this Nürburgring pit lane is actually pretty difficult. You've got to, especially on this layout, because you've got to thread the needle through a couple of barriers, then proceed to slow down to not speed.
Scrub the speed off as quick as you can, because your natural instinct as you come out of that turn is to foot to the floor, isn't it? We saw that difficulty earlier on, didn't we, when we thought he was going to miss the pit entrance. And so the shadows are getting a bit longer on the track, if you notice as well, from the cars.
Ooh, just slightly. As we're getting just past 5 o'clock here in Central Europe. You can convert that to your own time zone.
And obviously the sun will be starting to go down, and oh, great air from Carl, very impressive. Certainly pushing that Corvette to its limit.
As Bas Vartenbol comes in from second, the B32 racing car. Just came out of the pits as well. It's still Rasmus Borgqvist.
Eddie Costina crossing the line for start another lap.
I think there's been a driver change in the 79 BDR car. It's now Lars Pedersen in that one.
That is a driver change indeed. So Lars Pedersen is having his first stint in this Nürburgring 24-hour event with BDR 79. As my co-presenter is saying hello to the wall.
That's what I always love to do. Always say hello to the wall. You never know when it's going to fall down. As we're going to the next pit stop cycle.
Indeed.
As you said, and that is Bas Vartenbol in the pits. 35 laps completed, exactly what we'd expect. Still every 7 laps.
So, is there going to be a driver swap? Is Roy de Monk going to be getting in that car to have his first
yes, he is.
stint? And he is. Yeah, Roy de Monk now in the car. So, over 5 hours, he finally gets in the car, taking over from Bas Vartenbol. Can he make an impression on the leaders? We'll have to wait and see as it all shakes out.
2 minutes is the gap.
Yeah, it's opened up to 2 minutes, where it was sitting around the 45-second mark when Risi had his final stint and Swanepoel got into the car.
Yep.
So Risi never let up and actually extended the lead, and Luca has carried on in that fashion. Now it's up to Roy to try and close that gap, bring it down. before Roger the Clean, I would imagine, gets in. And then that's the full cycle of drivers for the one move.
Yep.
They've done at least one stint before we go back, I would imagine, to Matthew, who qualified and did the first stint, gets back in. And I would imagine that by that time, the track will be starting to get dark.
And getting into the dusk is always a little bit tricky because there's bound to be a few corners of the track where the sun is directly bouncing off the road into your your eyes, and it just makes it that much more difficult to spot your braking points and spot your turn-in points as well.
Indeed, this is where practice will get you accustomed to how the track is and help you in acclimatising to when the event kicks off. But Roy is straight into it. He's got a lot of work to do, which he obviously understands, and Luca will understand that he needs to keep this gap that they've been able to extend.
As the treble 3 is going to be coming back out of the pits again, and
So
still
the
Rasmus
treble 3,
Bornhöft.
Yeah, treble 3. It's been through the walls, unfortunately, but they're still going, which is a good sign. If we can look at the Exile car, for example, they were laps down in last position, up now in 7th because of their consistency since them early issues. So Carl has done a great job since he got in.
Yeah, 24 hours of Spa is on the 9th to 11th of August.
Yep.
Exactly. So 9 weeks.
9 weeks only. And then a similar gap to the big event in October. And don't forget, that takes us nicely to the next competition, which is winning 4 show floor tickets for the big event. For the World Championship at Le Mans. Full grid already assigned, and the lads here are working hard to make sure everything goes to plan.
Behind the scenes, yep.
Behind the scenes, and this is all part of it, to bring you the big show. Let's look at Emilio, comes up to a back marker. So all you got to do to win 4 show floor tickets is to like the GTR24 Facebook page and get yourself over onto Twitch, hashtag GTR24. Yep, look at easily getting by that back marker who helped facilitate that move. I don't think Luca lost much ground making that pass at all, which is good to see.
Certainly not. And in the race in October, there's going to be 50 cars, 50 teams there, driving on the floor.
With a team in reserve, I think, in case anybody drops out.
Yeah, there's 9 each in P1, P2 and GT3, then 23 in GTE.
Yep. Oh, we have a problem with BDR79.
Oh, that's a
heavy crash.
We're continuing.
Yeah, continue. We've seen that, haven't we? We saw that with the treble 3.
Viaducten.
Oh.
What's happened to the number 63?
Oh, it looks like he's really fighting that wheel now, actually.
That's because there is a rear wing on it, otherwise it wouldn't have been able to make bright shine.
It's pulling to the right, is it? It's pulling slightly more to the right than you would imagine it should be.
This is what happened to B32 Racing just now as well. You can see on the top of your screen, this is coming through Brunchen. Just a little bit too fast, couple of wheels in the dirt. Sideways, sideways, sideways into the barrier on the right hand side.
It's just not been their day, unfortunately, this first 5 and a bit hours of the race. coming into a lot of issues now. Viaducting as well, trying to push on, trying to close that gap. Sitting in 4th at the minute, trying to chase down Eddie in the 720S. Eddie Gustina taking over from a long stint from Rudy Kuppen. Eddie not without his issues early on, and his stint seems to have settled down now. Pushing on.
He's right to move in that second place car. What sort of lap times has he been putting in? Well, you can't really tell because the Melio just came in last time, right? So it isn't a fair comparison.
Yep.
So you have to wait for look at Melio to do his first full flying lap. There we go, get that one in. As the number 78 BDR car is in, as Mads Rees. He's been in that car for quite a while now, actually, hasn't he?
He has. I've noticed that a lot of the guys are doing long stints. Obviously, we know why the Scanview car is, because of the number of drivers in that car. So the DSR Nightmare car is actually now a lap down on Viaducting, as is the BDR car of 79 Lars Pedersen. So the field's starting to stretch out.
Yeah, the look at the Melio, it's lapped all but one car. Closest gap on the moment on circuit is the Viaducting car. Frederick Anderson is now driving that, and Steven Salsgaard for 4th place. They're 44 seconds apart as it stands. And that DSR Nightmare car that you're riding on, that you can see on the bottom of your screen that you're riding aboard with, going through Brunschen, trying to chase down that 63 car, which was looking not happy in the driving department.
Oh, trying to get back on terms.
Mads Rees comes back out on track in the 78.
Black Devil Racing is going through a sticky patch at the minute, needs to get through and come out the other side.
Oh, big understeer for the treble 7. Here comes the jump. Not much there, mainly because it was slow still from being on the grass.
Yep, slowed himself up.
As I know that was Demuk came in last time around, so you have to wait. Yeah, we have to wait for Demuk to do another lap to really see what speed he is compared
so
to
full
Melio.
speed. Yep.
And Demuk is just coming through the Schumacher S, so we've still got to wait another 8 minutes for that.
See what kind of pace he's able to put on the gap. Staying steady actually at 2:02. Both of on lap 36, the only two cars on the lead lap, obviously, with Eddie Gustina.
Yep.
In the Scanview, just a lap behind, and then Viaducting in 4th, 1 lap off that. So I think Viaducting's plan is quite clear, to try and get the head down and up to Frederick Anderson to try and push and get on level terms with Scanview. As we see Viaducting in the pits at this time. And there we go. DSR Nightmare coming through into 4th.
And Viaducting is bound to be changing that driver. Indeed, it's Mikkel Sigurd. As Rasmus Borgqvist in that B32 car, I think, just had his speed going backwards at 70 kilometers an hour. Can you see what happened to the B32 car?
No. The Viaducted car is leaving the pits. The B32 unfortunately has really had a tough time of it, hasn't it?
The B32 car, judging because it's coming up to Adna, I think that might have had a big backwards movement at Arenberg under braking.
Struggling in comparison with the one move out Audi LMS GT3.
Good to get all those numbers and letters in.
Oh yes, indeed.
It's very, very important.
Yeah, B32 who finished third in GT3 class at Le Mans last October. So the quality in the car is there. It's just today's just happens not to be their day so far.
Yeah, just nothing is going really to plan for them. You can say the same.
Right, yeah.
You can say the same for the Treble 3 car. Now 4 laps down in B32.
It seems to be struggling in turning. That was the slow to medium, and it seems to struggle. You have to pull it back from the edge, unfortunately. Let's see how the hand then carries on through the rest of the lap, but
that B32 car, that is on the run too.
looks like Roy has pulled back a couple of seconds as well on the leader.
B32 just come through Bergwerk at the moment. And Roy de Muck coming down the hill towards, he's coming up to Bergwerk just now as well actually.
Discs glowing as Roy hustles that car, knowing what he needs to do. Lights are blazing. As you can see, the light is casting onto the arm coat, so it's starting to get a little bit darker out there for the drivers, adjusting the view that they can see. Wondering if that B32 car is carrying any damage at all. Modulating through the carousel.
Yeah, through the carousel. De Muck just goes through the carousel as well, just a little bit behind, so not much separating the two of them physically on track, but they are, De Muck is second, and B32 of Russelsburg Fist is currently in 9th as he comes over Hoacht. De Muck, nice little bit of clearance there. On the run back down the hill, which means soon we'll be able to see D'Amelio's time and then compare it to De Muck's to see what the difference is between the two of them.
Yeah. I think you can see the difference within the B32 car on the handling issues it has in as opposed to how the one move car is being hustled by Roy. What's the gap now? Roy's keeping it steady. It's at the 2-minute mark, the gap he has behind Luca. And the game drive seat. 383 Aston Martin.
Nice little jump there for B32.
Intake of breath.
Yep, how does it go for De Muck? Oh, a nice little distance there. And then coming through Schwalbenschwanz and the Kleine Carousel before the long Dottinger Hill. So D'Amelio's lap was 8 minutes 30.8.
It was it? Oh, right.
It says up there, so I presume it's correct.
Yeah. So that's look a slow slap, isn't it?
So you got to see what Demink does in return.
Communication. It started out as a conversation between two people, but as time went by and people's needs became greater, they developed more ways to communicate. Businesses today need to minimize incomplete connections. Therefore, it is critical that they provide optimal service. Xilinx desktop, mobile and web applications can process everything from normal calls and callbacks to chats, emails, and social media inquiries. Let Xilinx liberate your business.
Have 18 hours and 36 minutes of racing remaining in this Nürburgring 24. All the while we are looking at the weather, and we'll have another update in around the 4 minutes. We'll see if this band of rain that is threatened in the past 2 hours has moved to the point of missing the circuit, or indeed has veered slightly that it actually comes to the circuit. So all the teams will be checking that out for sure. As B32 continues slightly to understeer, trying to make its way back.
Trying the
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
sentence.
The treble 3 DMD SimSport team carries on as well. That's been through the trials and tribulations associated with endurance racing as well. But they're still going strong. Not to be put off by any issues that they're encountering, that's for sure. which is really, really good to see. Thanks for the large picture of myself and my partner, Neil Heatley. I'm sure everybody is enthralled at our beautiful faces, and well, I say that. My mum used to call me that.
Of course, if you enter the,
She was paid weekly to do that.
if you enter the competition, you can see them. You can see them
You
in
can
real
see us
life.
in the flesh, yes.
How do you enter the competition, Nick?
By liking the GTR24h Facebook page and going to the Twitch GTR24h Twitch page and hashtag GTR24h.
Amazing.
Easy, and you get yourself 4 show floor tickets, and you'll see everything that goes on to put on this type of show, all in one arena. Drivers flying in from all over Europe,
And possibly further afield.
and possibly further afield. I think obviously Satellite have entered a car, and they came from far afield as California and Florida.
Oh,
And Philadelphia.
is that Alex?
Adam lives in California.
Ah.
Adam Baldwin. That team pushed hard, Satellite, and finished 2nd overall. A very exciting finish.
Good spray some imaginary champagne.
Yep, we did spray champagne actually.
Oh, real champagne. How exotic. Real
Yes.
champagne.
We did not spare the horses. We did not spare the horses one bit. We have Carl Stieg up in 7th. This is why you should keep going, because it was only 2 or 3 hours back now that they were taking up 10th position and struggling, and they carried on, pushed on hard, and now up in 7th, while other teams have got woes themselves. So remember, Carl is in a full 6 degrees of motion sim rig with VR capability headset. So he's been shaken about and stirred, I would say, running this track. I bet he knows he's been in Nürburgring when he gets off that and loosens the safety belts.
As you can now see the weather, and rain still moving in. Slowly.
Slowly and surely.
Slowly and surely. Both of them.
Oh, so we have a 5% chance of rain now.
As just closing in on 18.5 hours to go, still not that far, almost a quarter of the way there.
When you put it like that.
Almost.
Oh yes. Yeah, I'm pleased for the Excel team. It just shows you should never give up.
Yeah, exactly.
Never give up. I nearly burst into song there.
I'm not sure whether that'd be good for the broadcast or not.
No, highly improbable. In fact, it would have been downright nasty to the viewers for me to burst into song.
With the weather, just showing it again, you can see that big band moving up. You can just see it poking out of the corner of the box.
In fact, there's
situated in.
yeah. There's a second band actually, isn't there? Coming close behind. So I've got a feeling this, the first band we'll keep an eye on, but there's a second band that could cause issues 2 to 3 hours down the line around the midnight time through to early hours. Yeah.
And if I presume correctly, I think every image is 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So perhaps someone with a measurement tape or a ruler can measure how far that band has taken to move that far and roughly calculate when it's going to arrive in the circuit.
Yeah. The humidity in around 4 hours time, which is around the 10 p.m. mark, is up at 65%.
And that's climbing.
That's climbing indeed.
51.
Yeah, that's climbing.
So that'd be 10 p.m. So night and rain and the Nürburgring. What could possibly go wrong?
It conjures up images of metal flying everywhere.
Yes. More people launching their cars out of the park.
Yeah. Again. Yeah.
Again.
So we have certainly the probability of rain is increasing actually.
And the probability of rain outside here in Denmark is 100% because it is.
It is indeed, and the wind's picked up, pushing the rain southwards towards Germany. Yeah, BDR78, who had a great start to the race. Sadly, like a few other teams, met with some issues. Find themselves down now in 8th position.
And the last stop for the 78 car, I believe there was a driver change. One currently 8th is Morten Nygård.
Yeah. On lap 35. Whereas the leader, Luca D'Amelio, is on lap 38, and the gap to Roy is staying at around the 159 mark. Roy's done quite well actually. He's eaten away slowly but steadily.
Yeah, that previous lap, it was Demink who was fastest, but by a second. Well,
just by a second, yeah.
8/10ths.
But that's confidence building. To be under the leader's time, which is what you want. We have another yellow flag.
Treble 3 again.
Seems okay. Probably.
I believe that was a tea garden.
Yeah.
Tear garden.
Even. Tea.
So
He's going to meet the Queen at Buckingham Palace.
so trying to.
I'm sure she'd rather see you than that big oaf that she met this week, I'm sure.
Can't say those.
I can't say the name even. But you know who I mean.
As
Mellow Yellow. There you go.
there we go. As Viaductin is starting to close back in on DSR Nightmare, that previous gap by the tune, the previous lappy, to the tune of 7 seconds, 7.5 seconds.
Yeah, brilliant. Getting his second wind, sitting in P5 at the minute. Displaying the Danish flag just behind the front wing. Great young team.
And it makes you wonder what you're doing with your life.
Yeah, ranging from barely teenagers through to barely a youth, or a ute as we would say. Yeah, took everybody by surprise at the GTR24h race last October. Took the GT3 class win by a fair distance as well. Young guys, ranging in age from 13 to 16. Deserved winners. Closing in on the DSR Nightmare car, trying to close the distance.
Viaductin won by 2 laps.
Yep.
Last October.
Done very well. It was great to watch them. had a picture taken with the winning team, and I think the tallest one came up to my shoulders or something like that with that young, and you know. But each one of them deserved the win. Proud parents watching on, all with the t-shirts and all that. It's a great project.
T-shirts.
Yeah, they've all had the names on the back. The parents as well. It was a proper team. Proper team.
That's Metzgersfeld for the treble 7 car. And come round to Callan Hard next.
Eddie Gustina consolidating. We have a yellow flag again
Treble
on
3.
the treble 3.
So yeah, the treble 3 going round. I think that's what we can say about them at the moment.
Yep. Not giving up, that's the main thing.
No. That is the... You're quite right, mate. That is the main thing. Not
That's
giving
what-
up.
Yep.
Christina just getting a couple of wheels on the grass there.
Yeah, that's... It happens to be, it looks like that's his style of driving. It's all in, isn't it?
Yes. Until something goes wrong,
Yeah.
in which case it's all out.
All out. Yeah.
Sometimes,
Oh!
sometimes out of the park as well.
And again, yeah. He needs to be careful. He's pushing.
So Christina, that was just out of Brincham, which means he's coming down Flansgarten 1 now. So what can Christina do at the jump? To the left-hander very nicely.
Here we go, here we go.
Oh, look at that!
Oh.
That front end was right up on Christina's car. So here we go, you'll get to see Christina's lovely attempt. In slow motion, of course. The 0-3 on the windscreen does indicate that he is in third place. And here we go, coming down towards the jump. He gets a little bit of curb on the inside, actually. I think that helps him.
That's called the angle of attack. Oh,
That's a massive one! Yes! Lovely there from Christina. That is the best one so far, I would say. that is... He was looking at the sky! He wasn't even looking at the ground, that was sky! That is amazing from Christina.
I think that's going to take some effort to beat. I think he's took the lead with that one. That was immense.
that was a massive flight.
It was like he was in the Four Hills tournament in January.
Yeah.
My goodness me. It looks like his coach gave him the flag drop at the perfect opportunity. And Eddie took his chance.
As the treble 3's got a yellow flag again.
That was...
Yep. Oh no. Yep, there we go. Studio supervisor, should we say.
We're going to change his name to Eddie, from Eddie Gustina to Eddie the Eagle Gustina.
I mean, it really is needed. It really is needed after that one.
I can't... the only person I think that can improve on that is Eddie himself. That is an immense jump. The challenge is out there, ladies and gentlemen. If If we see a better jump than that over the next few hours, I'll be very surprised. That had everything there.
That did.
Angle of attack was precise. Elevation was very good, and distance and finish. The finishing position was excellent.
It definitely helped that he caught a little bit of the curb at the top of the jump.
Yeah,
That really helped ramp him.
it did. Definitely, that's what you want when you leave when you're in these kind of competitions. You need to hit the air with a correct angle of attack and have the balance position perfect.
Hang time, yeah.
Hang time indeed. But hang time is nothing unless you can land it correctly, and that was what Eddie did in abundance.
In abundance.
Cool. Proud of you, Eddie.
Good to see if we can match it next time round.
Yes, indeed.
Left wheel down a bit. Yes, I hope they don't do any of those spectacular ones in the night. Otherwise,
Oh,
you'll
well,
see them.
Yeah, we will, hopefully.
You can see the headlights. You see the headlights going vertical and shining.
Shining up to the stars. And then coming down with an abrasive bump. Michael Seagard's back in the car again.
And Viaducton is definitely closing. That gap's 9 seconds now.
Yeah, Michael Seagard back in the car.
Last time round, what was that? 10 seconds.
Yeah. Catching up with the DSR nightmare team of Steven Salzgaard. So we've seen this battle before, haven't we?
We haven't. This one's going to be for the final podium position over the race.
It seems every two hours they come together.
As we're about to get a special presentation of what it's going to be
Oh!
We're just having a look at the weather again.
There is no escape, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
There is no escape. That big storm cloud is on its way.
Yeah, the one that's going to be over a Dekirk. Just here, you can Dekirk there. That may hit, but the one that is definitely going to hit is the one behind it. It's over Luxembourg. 10 minutes instead. Christina's got a yellow flag. Christina's gone off somewhere.
He has.
"90 minutes is Peter Muncombe's estimate for when it's going to hit us." Oh, it's a guesstimate, sorry. You're having a look what happened to Christina. This is coming down the hill to tight left-hander at the bottom of the ravine. He got on the grass, he's tried to overcorrect it, he's got a nice tank slapper on. Full opposite lock. And, oh, that was a big hit in the front. And a fairly abrupt hit as well in the front, actually.
Yep. Nothing you could do there, actually.
No.
Was there?
As Dumunk is coming over Vipperman. Yeah, that's what Eddie Christina was doing. Yeah. As Dumunk coming over the crest of the hill. And funnily enough, back down again. Over Flanskarten 1.
I think Isaac Newton worked that one out some time ago. What goes up, what must it do?
Must come down. As here comes Demunk over the jump. Can he do something impressive? No, nowhere
No.
near as impressive for
This-
Demunk. Terrible.
So we're looking at DSR nightmare if Gustino scores some. Tank
There we
slammer
go.
again.
Lovely. All the way down to first gear to catch that one.
So DSR nightmare are looking at a possible third position if Gustino has caused major damage to that car. I'd be very surprised if he hasn't.
And Viaductin is closing at a great rate of knots. Now 5 seconds that gap.
Yeah, battle has joined very, very soon. This could not just be for fourth, this could be for third. If Eddie has to go into the pits.
Third and 50 euro, of course. As Demunk, what sort of speed is he doing then that doesn't get hurt?
See how Eddie's doing inside the car. How was that steering wheel? Does it look off centre? It does, it's pulling to the left.
It's left hand down a bit.
Yes, it's left hand down, he's struggling. Yeah, left hand. So obviously we have some suspension damage which will have to be fixed. Yeah, he's gone off again.
Grass, hold on, lovely. No. Don't panic. Don't panic, that's fine, it's Viaductin, it's closing in.
I'm fine, nothing to see here.
Coming down through the carousel, then up to Hoacht. And Demunk in second place, continuing in that number 11 One Movie Sports car. Viaductin getting closer, and this is what happened to Gustina.
He gets some elevation there, doesn't he?
Not as much as last time, but the thing is, he's taken off at a bad angle.
And he's steering to the left, and the car was at the right. Luckily, he managed to hold position of the car and not go too far to the right, which would have caused even more damage. So this would suggest to me that he really does need to come into the pits. He manages to hold it as it goes back to the racing surface and manages to carry on as normal.
So Viaductin closing in rapidly on the treble 7 car. Closing in rapidly on the treble 7 car. The Jaws theme tune slowly playing in the background. As they're coming to the Kleine carousel.
Eddie chooses not to pit.
That looks oversteering and not nice to drive.
We have seen this before with the treble 3 car, and it ended up with them causing even more damage. I always think if you're pulling to the look at that. So he's pulling to the left, and then he's overcompensating as he turns right. The car, the nose is becoming too pointy.
And it's Alexander Hartwig currently in that treble 3 DMD car. And Alexander Hartwig and that team, they won GT3 last year at the 24 hours at the Le Mans race.
Yeah.
It was Hartwig, Nikolai Bergdahl, Isaac Jacobson, Rasmus Bernhoft, and Mikkel Siergaard. So yes, not working out as well as they wanted. So it seems to be a mix between Viaductin and DMD Simsport actually.
The drivers, yeah.
But look at how close Viaductin is now. Look how close Siegaard is now.
The DSR Nightmare car crosses the start-finish line to start another lap. Eddie is just on the start of the Nordschleife itself. Now we have battle joined Viaductin.
Viaducton and DSR Nightmare, the 777, both coming through the first set of S's on the Grand Prix course. We'll be heading to our next set of commercials in just a few seconds. You won't miss anything. You'll still see all of the action at the bottom of the screen, but after a short word from
Communication. It started out as a conversation between two people, but as time went by and people's needs became greater, they developed more ways to communicate. Businesses today need to minimize incomplete connections. Therefore, it is critical that they provide optimal service. Xilinx desktop, mobile and web applications can process everything from normal calls and callbacks to chats, emails, and social media inquiries. Let Xilinx liberate your business.
Hello and welcome back, and you can still see on screen Viaducton not being able to get past the 777 DSR Nightmare car, but just for a couple of minutes. Joining me, I've got Peter Munkholm, who according to the internet has won the 24-hour race before, the Le Mans race.
And you believe stuff you read on the internet.
The internet never lies.
No, it's true, but like I said, that was in my youth.
In your youth.
In my youth. Yeah.
So as sort of like studio supervisor, let's put it that way. How's the race gone so far from sitting over there?
Well, the lead certainly is contested, but everything else seems to be. Like everyone's flying up and down in the standings, and it takes only one mistake, and you go from third to seventh or something. So yeah, it's unpredictable, and thing that I'm really excited about is the weather that's moving in, because
Rain.
it seems like a small like it's in some areas right now it's indicating that it's actually a storm, so it might actually be some kind of thunderstorm cell that's moving in, and we're down to it hitting in about 70 minutes or something like that.
At some point here on the Nürburgring, when the rain comes, it's got to be a little bit of luck as well to be in the right place to put the tyres on.
For sure. We've been at the Nürburgring watching the real race since 2012 or 2013 every year. One of the years, I know Chris from Race Control can confirm that one of the years it was raining and the race was red flag from about midnight to 8 o'clock in the morning. And it was raining so heavily that some of the marshals came out and unscrewed the lower part of the barriers in some of the corners, because there was just entire lakes of water that the AMCOs was keeping in, so they had to take off the action on track.
Yeah, Viaducton, they are, let's put it this way, flashing the headlights as fast as possible to the rear wing of the 777. They're just coming down Flansgarten now, which means it is the jump next. Let's see how Viaducton take control of this jump. Nice flight there for the 63 car. But yeah, speaking of the jump, what is your what's been the best one so far, considering we're about 6 hours into this race, a quarter of the way through? What's been your favourite flight so far?
Well, the best flying car is definitely the Aston Martin. It just seems to have such a nice balance when it flies. It seems like it only needs a couple of small wings and then some way of keeping propulsion while in the air, and it will actually take off and be a proper airplane.
Yeah.
But those are not the exciting ones. The exciting ones are the ugly ones.
Yeah. Such as Eddie Castillo about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's sort of a reverse Audi, because an Audi is sort of a face plant, and yeah, he's trying again.
As Viaducton's just gone to the left-hand side along the Dottinger Hole to try and make his way past.
He'll get in behind. Get in behind and
through the Antoniusbrücke. And yeah, look at that overspeed and look at how big that gap is to the 777 car now. So that turns to 0-4 on the windshield of the 63 car. That goes to show that it is now in 4th place as it crosses the line. Can Sigurd actually get that much of a gap to Saltgård to come across the line?
It does seem right. It seems like the 777 car has some kind of problem. He's in the pits. He must be.
40 laps. I think that might actually be a scheduled pit stop actually.
Yeah.
As you can see now on screen, it is the full standings. It is the Drive Game Seat Racing car. Lucas Di Meglio in the lead by 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes now.
That might explain why he didn't contest it as they were going down the straight. He didn't want to risk anything, and because I would think 2 Corvettes coming down the straight, and he overtakes him in the middle of the straight, there'll be plenty of time to get back in the draft and overtake again. We see that also quite a lot of times at the Le Mans track, that on a straight, if you time your overtaking, if you time it badly, the competitor will have a chance to get back in the draft and then get beside you again. And once they get beside you and they get on the inside, you're pretty much done.
And it's Rudolf in that 11 car in second, then it's Scanview, Eddie Gastina in third, just somehow after the interesting race that he's had over the jump. Then it's the Viaducton 63 in fourth, like we've just seen that pass. DSR Nightmare in the pits now in fifth. It's the BDR number 79 in sixth. The EXM Racing 888 in seventh. The 78 BDR Racing in eighth. The B32 Racing in ninth, and in 10th is the 333 at the MD Simsport.
Roy de Monk right now is actually fastest car on track, but interestingly enough, second fastest right now.
It's the BDR 78.
136 with an 836.9 from Morten Nørgaard. That's actually pretty fast. That's about 10 seconds faster than most of the other guys. 10 seconds faster than most of the other cars.
And we have just ticked over the 6-hour score mark. Just 18 to go. You'll be looking forward to that, wouldn't you? Getting much sleep this evening?
Amir Assad has taken over the EXM racing from Carl Stagg, right?
Yep, that is true.
Yeah. That was on last lap. Well, I think it's still very, very unpredictable.
Yeah, certainly.
Unless the guys from the game sheet guys has a puncture or a really bad accident, of course they're gonna run away with the win. But everything after that is up for grabs.
So we'll take it due to what you've just said. They're going to have an accident in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah. And remember, if any of these guys suffer any kind of hardware failure, it will cost you at least 1 lap, maybe 2 laps, because then they would have to exit and rejoin and contact race control and set everything up and get back into racing. So yeah, and building a 2-lap lead, because that's really what you want to look for to secure your position. You need about a 2-lap lead, so you're trying all the time to get to that point where you got the 2-lap lead, and then nearly nothing that happens could take your position away from you. But getting a 2-lap lead on the Nürburgring is very, very hard and takes a very, very long time.
And as you just saw there, Luca Di Meglio has came in for his next pit stop on time at 42 laps. But also you'd see that he actually missed his pit box, had to reverse, missed it again, then had to move forward again.
He's lucky this is Alpha Factor 2. If way back when we were driving GTR2, you couldn't do that. If you missed your pit stop and went too far, you couldn't reverse back and get the pit stop, you were just done. Well, I'll hand it back over to Nick again.
As rejoining me again is the lovely Mr. Newcomb after the lovely Mr. Newcomb after having a quick little break.
Hello everyone. Thank you to our esteemed leader, so to speak. Runs things behind the scenes, keeps everything running as smoothly as silk.
Which one's the proper leader though? Is it Peter or is it John?
Oh, should we say John and let them fight it out? I know who my money's on. Yeah.
As the DSR Nightmare car came into the pits and did a pit stop, just as you're away, just as we were talking to Peter.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that Lucas in the pits. It's true what Peter was saying about issues and problems. You may have built up a nice lead, but it all could be for naught as Roy the Monk comes into the pits for his pit stop on the same lap as there have been throughout the race. One of the same pits.
Justina got on the grass down the jump. That was close, I believe. I just saw it in the corner of my eye. Yeah, Justina having a little bit of fun.
He is, he's enjoying the stint. There's actually a shout out already for driver of the day.
Just having a look at what happened to Justina. So you're having a look at TSR Nightmare, the 777 at the moment, the car currently in 5th place. So here's what happened to Eddie Gastina in that 55 scan view car coming off the jump. It looked fairly interesting from what I just saw in the corner of my eye. You can just see the jump there on the crest. But it isn't really a jump, it's more that the crest drops away really quickly.
He's taking that inside, isn't he? Oh, that's it. Yep. Not as much air, but lands on two wheels.
It is a little bit of a wheelie. I think it's more that he kind of loses that Flansgarten 2. This jump, there you go. A Flansgarten 2 just as it moves away. And I think a lot of them just go over the grass a little bit there, but he almost misjudged it and got the arm on the left-hand side, actually. So close.
Yeah, Ali. Perfectly judged.
Perfect or lucky, who knows? As Melio, you can see on the bottom of the screen the race leader. Again, after that last pit stop cycle, about a minute and 57 separate the two of them, pretty much the same as it was before.
If anything, over that last stint in the pit stop, Roy has been able to take out about 5 seconds from Luca.
Yeah, about 5 seconds, that reduced, but at the moment, look at Melio keeping that gap at a steady 5, steady 2 minutes even, just under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And they've both got a little bit of leeway because they're both a lap ahead of the third place car, which is Eddie Castina.
Yeah.
That scan view number 55.
Eddie really is living on the edge, isn't he?
As the Treble 8 has had a problem somewhere, or at least it's back up and running again.
Still in 7th spot, is that, with Amir Assad in the car now?
It is now. He took over from Carl Stave. That's the DSR Nightmare continuing on, trying to gain as much time as possible before Viaductin comes into the pits next time back. And on board with the American, the Treble 8 car as it stands. And that is coming through. That's the number 79 car. '79 car backwards, just getting the replay up for you now so you can see what happened to it. And having a look at what happened to 79.
Yeah, I think it looks like he took a little bit too much curb, which unsettled the front end.
Yeah, Adnauer Forest.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Unsettled. Tried to correct. I think he went in a little bit too tight. Try to bring the front end round, understeered out onto the grass.
And then bounces off the Armco, then goes back across the track. Doesn't actually hit the Armco at all, I don't think.
Yeah.
On the left hand side there.
Over correction, foot down, spinning around. Yep.
And doesn't hit the Armco there either. I think that's been a spin without a touch.
Yeah, he's done well there. Yeah, he's done okay there. Carries on. Tries to shake that off and forget about it.
Insert song here, involving shake it off as well.
Yeah.
Again, not doing anything with that one. The Captain DSR Nightmare and Viaductin now is 1 minute and 24. And I think Viaductin will come out about 5 seconds behind the Treble 7 at the next pit stop.
Yep. put on a good spurt here, that's for sure. Michael Seagard has caught up to DSR Nightmare and then put on some impressive laps to open up a gap, which gives them the chance at the next pit stop. So this is what it's all about. This has been a really strong stint.
And of course, just looking for perhaps a slightly alternate strategy before the end of the race, because that final pit stop could be very crucial, especially if these two are still as close-ish on track. 79 has had another excursion somewhere. That looks like, I'm not exactly sure where that one is. That's on the exit of the carousel. And having a look at what happened to that 79 BTR car, Black Devil Racing, coming through the carousel.
Everything looks okay there. And then just on the exit, as you can see, the rear starts to come around. And he's struggling to contain that. Hits the barriers. Yep, facing the wrong way. Luckily, oh, there was a one move car coming round. As we can see, should pass right in front. Yep. So that was a lucky escape for the one move car and Roy de Monk.
Yeah, that was pretty lucky that
very, very lucky
that the BDR car didn't actually change position at all. Or like I said, start to move up a little bit.
But also on the side of BTR, you could see he was aware what was happening around him and understood that Roy was on his way. As we can see, the light really is starting to drop and the shadows cast on the track are getting longer from the trees as well as the car before we head into dusk.
Dusk.
Yes.
Lovely dusk.
Yeah, BDR car seems to be okay. No real concerns or issues. We'll see, but the trend seems to be not to go into the pits even after damage. If they can get away with it, they want to carry on and see if they can hold off. Oh, he's out, steering out though. See if they can wait until the next pit stop. Maybe try and keep to this stint lengths. I think that's been the main concern.
Sharp intake of breath as a Nightmare just went 2 wheels in the grass at a very high speed section before Costume Town.
It's a bit worrying this. Yeah, it's a bit worrying this because they're doing this in where we have relative daylight. It's in the light that's going to be fading pretty quickly from here on in. I would like to think that they're being pulled back a bit.
Like to think.
I'd like to think, yeah. So as not to stretch the laws of probability of trying to hold it on the grass.
As Christina comes in.
Christina is in the pits. As BDR 79 goes off the start-finish line to begin another lap. Riding on board with Amir Assad in the exiled Corvette.
Yep, the AXM, treble 8, can't mind 7.
Good fight back drive from the team. from a few problems earlier on in the race. Seem to have overcome. Good stint from Carl Stieg, and Demir is carrying on exactly where Carl left off.
And having a look at well, I should say Christina is still stationary in pit lane.
He has got damage, so it will be a longer stint.
That is
there
true.
will be a longer stop in the pits because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, Viaductin now passes him in the pit stop phase. As I say that, Viaductin comes into the pits.
Comes into the pits indeed. So it looks like they're both on the same pit strategy. I wonder if Gustina's issues will cost him this position, or is he on his way now? Yep, he manages to get out.
Yep, continues. So that means he's now been in the car for 2 hours, 2 stints, because Rudy Cooper got out after about 4 hours and 20 minutes.
4 hours and 20, yeah.
So that Gustina's been in there for 4 hours, and I'm just wondering if we'll go 4 and 4 all the way through the race.
It would make sense, for sure. Viaductum still stationary in the pits, not moving yet. As Gustina is coming down to the Dunlop curve. Here we go.
And that's Viaductin now moving off. We'll get to see roughly how big that gap is once they get back out onto the circuit. I'd say once they get down towards the Dunlop hairpin would be a good estimation of how big that gap is now. The DSR Nightmare now goes past Viaductin.
All on the pit strategy, isn't it?
4 seconds separate Viaductin and Nightmare now, and I make that about a minute separates Scanview.
Which is around a full service, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much a full service.
So I think it looks like Eddie fixed the damage, which was wise, and now he's got a perfectly reasonable car underneath him again. So hopefully he'll be able to push on and give us another show.
As it's now, as the tires are just getting up to temperature for Nicholas Morg back in the Viaductin car. So again, they're continuing with their strategy of doing a full service every stop and changing the driver at the same time.
Yeah.
So he's got to get used to the car again and these cold tyres, and they'll be up to temperature soon.
Then the change of conditions, of course, as the sun drops and the shadows are on the track around him. Getting ready to go into the Nordschleife itself for the first time in this stint.
Yeah, the Hatzenbach. Well, technically the Hatzenbach is this left-hander.
Yeah.
It's the first corner proper of the Nordschleife after the connector.
Chasing down the Nightmare.
777. What's been the distance records for the wheel over the 24 hours? Do you know?
I'm sure you're gonna find out.
See if we can beat that.
So this fight for 3rd, 4th and 5th is as strong as ever at the minute. Scanview holds 3rd position in the final paint position. 51 euros is it for 3rd position?
15 euros and 20 cents.
Don't forget that, yeah.
Don't forget the 20 cents, they're so important.
Yep. At the minute, Scanview hold that position, with DSR Nightmare chasing them down, with Viaductum in 5th position at the moment, chasing the pair of them down.
The distance record is 159.
Oh. And what lap are we on? 43.
I'm not sure, we could actually be on the way there because we're just over a quarter of the way through the race.
Yeah, we're well on our way.
Well on the way to at least equaling the distance record, the real life distance record, virtually. And as Viaducting continue to try and close down DSR Nightmare, we'll take a quick break as we have some words from our sponsors.
Communication. It started out as a conversation between two people, but as time went by and people's needs became greater, they developed more ways to communicate. Businesses today need to minimize incomplete connections. Therefore, it is critical that they provide optimal service. Xilinx desktop, mobile and web applications can process everything from normal calls and callbacks to chats, emails, and social media inquiries. Let Xilinx liberate your business.
And here we are, back after our commercial break. We're going to have an update on the weather in around 4 minutes' time.
We are, and it looks exciting, Nick.
It does. Well, for us it is. That was a bit, that was a bit evil, wasn't it?
That one was a little bit evil.
And I would have got away with it if it wasn't for them pesky kids. It's going to be wet.
Nicholas Mark has fallen away from the back of the DSR car now.
Ah, Nicholas Mark, yep.
6 seconds, 6.5 seconds, I was in deficit through the slap, which means the gap between 777 and 63 is now 27 seconds. Pretty much, we get 27 seconds.
Yep, this is the battle joined. 5th and 4th, and don't forget 6th. The BDR 79 is, couple of laps, another further lap down now. So, but that'll all shake out when they come back through the start-finish line.
When they come to the start finish line, we'll see.
Yeah, 2 laps. We've seen how cars who struggle with damage can come back. So nothing is lost, and especially with this weather pattern that's coming in. Those Luca and Roy out front have not got it their own way. They've only got a lap on position 3, 4 and 5. So they've got to make sure that they stay aware of what's happening weather-wise and on track, the conditions that are there. And as we can see again, look at that, Roy is down to 1:53, so he's talking about 10 seconds since he got in the car from Luca, which is a good effort in normal circumstances. B32 down in 9th position.
Yep.
It's had its woes, but it's not giving in.
It's a lap down on a lap plus a bit down on the 78 car, but I'm not exactly sure how much of a bit it is.
Yeah, we'll see. But they're keeping going, and that's the main thing. They're not throwing the towel in and giving up the fight. That's
Where
for
is
sure.
number 78 car track? That is, oh, so that's almost 2 laps down there.
Yeah, nearly 2 laps.
So 79's gone off somewhere. The sister car, 2
Again.
Black Devil Racing cars.
We'll just pick that up and see what occurred. See if we can find this for you. Yeah.
Up at the forest, it looks like just got on the grass under braking, did it?
It looks like it. Yeah, unsettled.
Grass or braking.
Yeah, pirouetted around.
Does it touch? Does it touch? Does it touch that Armco? No. Still no? Oh, but it touches the other Armco.
It touches the other Armco. Yep, there
Quite
it is.
heftily.
Quite a hefty shunt. Left-hand front corner of the car.
And then it slaps it with the left rear. Then it
And
slides
again,
backwards up the Armco.
Yeah, for good measure.
Oh, and then into the one on the other side? No. A nice G-turn. Oh no, but it slaps the other side. Does it?
No, he holds it. Well done.
Just.
Carries on. Let's have a look at this wheel. Yep, it's slightly to the left. Well, a little bit more than slightly.
Yeah.
So it is carrying front end damage. You'll have to be careful. Oh, yeah.
As Nick can get your evil laugh out again.
Yeah, it's getting worse every time we go there, isn't it?
About a half an hour away. Each image is 10 minutes.
This weather front is definitely coming in. This weather front is going to hit dead centre over the Nürburgring.
As the DSR Nightmare cars had a problem. That's 6-2, I think that's had now for us as well.
There's some little mistakes happening now, isn't there? Yeah, we need it.
As DSR was having a bit of a nightmare through Adnau Forest. That joke fell as flat as a pancake.
It did actually. I knew where you were coming from. I knew where you were coming from, sir.
That one didn't work at all. As the gap between Viaduct and DSR is now only 10 seconds.
Yeah. 10-second gap. So once again, we'll see these two teams battling it out for position, trying to chase down Eddie Gastina in the Scanview 720S. He is not without his troubles either this stint of his.
As the treble 3 is in the pits, but I presume to be a
Normal
scheduled
pit stop, as opposed to what they've been going through for a few of the pit stops that they've had to make.
So Gastina, where is Gastina out on track? That is through Vippeman. And on the way down to Brunchen now. This right-hander here. Just kiss the curb, don't go that wide though. Up over Flansgarten. That car is not happy, is it?
No.
It's about to come over the jump though. What can Gastina do in the 55? That's understeer, that's understeer, that's understeer. Whoa, and that was looking towards the sky again. As we just have a look at that one as well on replay.
Just
as here comes Gastina. However, what happened? You can see him very, very wide.
wise, isn't he? Yeah.
That is not good, that one.
Yeah. But he is giving the viewers a bit of a thrill, isn't he?
Bit of a show.
Does he take a tight line again and kiss the curb to give him some elevation?
He does.
He does indeed. Oh.
That's some good distance on that one.
He gets plenty of hang time, and his telemark landing is on point, I would say.
It looks the right rear tyre lands first again.
Yeah. We'll have one more look at that. His form is very good.
That is some very good form.
Yeah. As we can see, as Pete's pointed
And
out,
that
right
front,
wheel.
that front is definitely rising until he hits the ground.
Yeah. Then he performs the telemark. Nice landing, straightens out and carries on. Well done, Eddie.
Very well done. Very well done there from Gastina. As DSR is getting back on to the Dottingham, look at this, Viaductin is now 23 seconds back, so it appears that Nicholas Merck just doesn't have the pace.
Doesn't have the pace to match Matthias Pedersen in the DSR Nightmare 777 car. Prior to the pit stop, they were closing down. Unfortunately, that pursuit has died off a little bit since the driver swap.
For now,
Exactly. The battle will be rejoined again.
What's our basis Viaductin getting at the moment?
70, 71, 70. Yep. There's no, 73 under the bridge. So the pace is good.
79 at the compression. Lets off the gas really early though.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he's losing the time. Seemed to a bit slow picking up the throttle there.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he's losing his time, unfortunately.
That's pretty much off throttle oversteer.
Yeah. He's not confident as the other guys were in the car. Unfortunately.
As the 777 car is about to come up to another one to what I presume is lap them. Can't quite see which one it is.
It's a 70, is it the 78? Or is it the 888 Exile car?
It's difficult to tell from this angle.
I think it's a 888 Exile car.
Got to get a better look at the side of it.
Let's have a look on yes. Yes, it is. Oh,
Is it? No, it's a BDR car. It's a 79. 1 in 6.
yeah, BDR 79.
As DSR now come up to the NG chicane. Of course, at this chicane they use the fast version of it,
Yeah.
as opposed to the two 90-degree corners. Which are horrific. Yeah, those two 90-degree corners are not good at all.
No.
This viaduct is just coming onto the Nordschleife now.
Oh.
Nürburgring.
Oh.
What's happened to Nürburgring?
Oh. Oh. He's reversed into the Exile car. I think he's incidented the carousel, does it look like? Yeah.
And there we go, having a look on stream now. What happened to the 11 one-move esports car from the Dutchman? Yeah, Dutchman, that is the Dutch flag. Just see beside Peter there.
From Amsterdam, yeah, the car came out the carousel, pirouetted.
Almost looked like he draped it on the exit.
Yeah, came out early, got on the power which spun the car around, but that was not all. So he's got front end damage. Stops and tries to do
Forward.
a 3-point turn,
He's
and
got
then
reverse straight into him, isn't he?
as he reverses,
Yeah, just reverses straight into him.
we'll have another quick look at that. So as Roy is making a 3-point turn, the Exile car comes through, tries to go on the outside expecting the one-move car to be stationary to let him through, but unfortunately he reverses into him, and that'll cause major damage.
Yeah, because look at the angle. The XL car hit the Armco.
Yeah, so that'll be front quarter damage.
As the DSR Nightmare car, 30 seconds separates it from the viaduct and behind, and 80 seconds separates it from Eddie Gustina ahead. As I say that's certainly not going to help picking up grass there. The climbing its way back up the hill. That was a misprofile, did it?
So that's quite a major incident for the car sitting in second spot. So this could give Eddie sitting in third the opportunity to move up one spot.
Because remember that Eddie Gustina is still over a lap behind.
Depending on the damage that has been sustained by the one move HSR car. And obviously we've seen previously cars sustaining damage and not coming into the pits actually.
That is true, we have seen that quite a few times throughout the race. The 333 did it before, and Gustina's done it as well actually.
Yeah, he has, yep. I think the worst was the 333 had about 4 incidents. Which,
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Which followed on from an initial incident which caused some front end damage to the wing.
Strife.
Yeah, and from there it just multiplied. But hopefully this exiled car, driven by Amir Saad, can carry on without oh, he's in the pits. Amir's in the pits now. Obviously that damage was far too much caused by the one car reversing into his path.
Car hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate.
It's the Black Devil Racing car, number 78, currently in 7th place.
As we see, the damage to Roy's car wasn't not enough to put him in the pits. He's carried on.
Got to wait for a relatively straight bit before we see how much.
Let's see if there's any turn.
That's left hand down a bit.
A little bit. So he seems to have, he's managing the damage, whereas the Exile team, unfortunately, that car had to pit, which we suspected with the angle that it was forced into the Armco barrier.
Yep.
After being collected on the left rear of the door, which speared it off into the opposite Armco.
As the treble 8 has actually lost a position now to the number 78 Black Devil Racing car due to that pit stop.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's cost them a position as well as time in the pit, unfortunately, after making a good recovery from their earlier damage. The BDR78 is now in the recovery drive after being up as far as 4th in the standings, I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's unfortunate for the Exiles. They're going to have to start all over again.
As I think the Benedictine car is about to lap the BDR79 car, considering there's 9 minutes and 22 seconds between the two of them.
The Viaductin car looks like it's left-hand out. Doing a lot of fighting with this wheel. Let's have a look as we go. Yeah, it's right-hander.
Is it?
I think he's doing a lot of fighting with that wheel for no.
It might just be that there's no dead zone set on that wheel.
Yeah.
And it's just feeling every bump. As with 17 hours and 17 minutes to go. As just now, Nick, why don't you tell us about the current competition?
Indeed. We have a great competition in October for you. For the winners, we have 4 tickets to the 24-hour of Le Mans, and there you will see all drivers and teams vying for the win in all the same location on a LAN event, with all the different types of brake, from VR guys to motion sim, which you'll be able to see in action before the actual race starts. That's going to be really, really cool for anybody who wins that. And all you got to do is like the GTR24h Facebook page, and then go over to the GTR24 Twitch page and give a like and hashtag GTR24h.
Can't like a Twitch stream, I'm sorry, Nick.
You can go over to the Twitch stream in hashtag 24H.
and hashtag GTR24H, and that will get you entered into the competition that's going to be drawn just after 8 o'clock Central European time. So
Which
you
is
have
65 minutes.
65 minutes to get your entries in.
Seamless.
Seamless.
Never saw it coming. So what's the... right, yeah. Okay.
As we will be back soon after a short break, so we will leave about 15 minutes, 15 seconds even or so, so we'll see you on the other side.